Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream of the mysterious and unknown. Some things known, some things not so well known. We're going to take a look at both in this live stream. Once again, welcome back. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things. So stick around, don't go anywhere. Guaranteed a good time. But first of all, starting off here on the home page here, the very first photo. Let me switch it over to this right here. What's up, Williams? Yeah, you guys see what's going on here? Anybody see what's up? My friend Henning Kenner, he's a truck driver, drives through the Midwest. He does a lot of trucking in Texas and Louisiana, Oklahoma. Check this out. This is just one of the many weird things we're going to be looking at in this video. Thanks for stopping by, guys. What's up, Sherry, ZZ, King, Williams, Wesley? Do you guys see what's going on here? Let me take it in a little bit closer. I've got a lot of things in this video. We're going to talk about Chantal. We're going to talk about the situation in Texas. Let's see, I've got some interesting data to share with you guys. We're going to talk about the double shadow. We're starting off with this right here. I just gave it away. Dang it, I gave it away. Ontario mothership. And then we're going to do a couple of polls. So stick around because I'd like to hear what your input is on these polls. But this was a really cool observation by Hennig. Check this out. Do you see it? Have you ever seen anything like that? Got to be honest, I haven't. This would require two light sources, right? And it's not just the truck in front of him, it's the truck in front of the truck, casting two shadows on the ground. Even the car on the left. Wow. That's weird. I got to be honest, I've never seen that. Because when we take UV readings, we take UV readings when the sun is directly overhead and there's no shadow. So when there's no shadow, the UV is the highest. When there's a shadow this long on, like, say, the right-hand side of the truck, that would imply the sun is over here to the left, casting the shadow on the right. The shadow goes clear out into the grass. Oh yeah, this is really bizarre. And there's a shadow to the left, implying there's a light source on the right. What is up? So anyway, this was a really cool observation. I put together a little video about the double shadow, and it is right here. Here we go, ski. Double shadow, Hennig, Texas. I got more to share with you guys regarding this shadow. I zoomed in, kind of adjusted the lighting and color, and he was exactly right. There were two shadows on this day. Why? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Hold on a minute, guys. I'm getting a spam call. Move the screen. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So let me go back. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I got a call I had to retrieve. Let me make this a little smaller. Move it over. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. My bad. Hey, if you guys have a question, by all means, don't be shy like Jorge GTZ. Send in the super chat. You can send in, go down to the bottom, look for that little sign at the bottom with the S in the rectangle. You can choose red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or teal. Take your pick. Pick your favorite color. Super chats get priority questions. Okay, back to the double shadow. Here we go. There it is. Oh, there's the close-up right there. He was right. There's shadows on both sides of the rig. Not only that rig, but the rigs in front. Somebody please explain that. And it was actually overcast that day. Where was the second source of light coming from? There almost had to have been two for this to even be possible. And I haven't done anything to the photo except zoom in. And he sent me 1, 2, 3, and even the car, 4. Super weird. I don't know, guys. I've never seen anything quite like that. Here's a split sky. I've got all kinds of random and weird things. This is what I get in the emails and Dropbox every day. The world we live in is quite mysterious. It's always got something new to offer every day. If you're just a little bit alert, you don't even have to be on high alert. Just look around. The skies in particular always have something unique to offer. Absolutely. Matthew Kersey. This is a split sky phenomena that spanned the entire sky, not just part of the sky, maybe over at the horizon or the sunrise or sunset. Hello, Paulo Tick. Video, the same thing, helping Melbourne, Australia. Oh, really? Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the super chat. Very cool. Saw the same, Paulo saw the same double shadow in Australia. 2 light sources in Australia, maybe? Nice color, by the way. Thank you, Paulo. Yeah, I got to be honest. I've never seen that. And I get hundreds of photos and videos each week. And I've never seen anything like that. And the email is working again, guys. It's not working 100%, but it is working. I can retrieve email now. The Dropbox is still working. So the Dropbox is a backup. So if the email's wonky, and it's been wonky, and I apologize for that. You can always use the Dropbox. It's good. And that's over at the website, mrmbb333.com. But this is an exceptional example of the split sky phenomena, spanning the entire sky. Matthew, if you're watching, where did you see this at? Not that it matters. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I like to know where these things are seen to see if anybody else maybe saw the split sky. Very cool. All the way across, horizon to horizon. Great job, great video. And here's the photo of the split sky. This is looking probably towards sunrise or sunset. I would say sunset. Great stuff. We're at Lakewood Village. Okay, this is probably, sometimes we can look at road signs or billboards in the area. If we don't have a specific location, you can look at license plates sometimes, and you can figure out the location. Lakewood Village. Not familiar with Lakewood Village, so no help. But anyway, Matthew, if you're watching, let us know where you saw that. Very cool. Giant Sky X. Here we go. Mysterious and unknown. You guys ever see anything like this? Now, this one was in Duluth, Minnesota. This was a photo, not a video, but they looked up and they saw a shadow X up in the sky. Maybe this has got something to do with the dual light source, even though it only looks like one light source over there to the left. This photo was sent in by Cody Walker out of Duluth, Minnesota. Very cool. Big giant X, dark X in the sky at that. In front of a low level of a low cloud deck. So thick clouds, dark X in the sky. Cool stuff. Guys, if you see this, it looks super, super ominous. I get it. I've seen this in the past many years ago. And I know when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, there's our binary star, right? Our binary twin. Sorry about that. But this is not. This is on the Stereo Ahead spacecraft. This is the spacecraft that orbits the sun with the Earth. There's a Stereo A and there's a Stereo B. Stereo B has been inactive for many, many years. Stereo B follows the Earth and still does. It's still orbiting the sun. It's behind the Earth, ahead is ahead of the Earth. And it has a unique view of the sun. What's happening here, this occurred a while back. Somebody just sent it to me and they were, implying that this was the second sun being revealed. Look at that. Isn't that wild? That's supposed to be just like that. This is a view of the sun. We're looking at not the sun directly. We're looking at potential coronal mass ejections coming off of the east side of the sun, the right-hand side of the sun. And that's what you're supposed to see. Background stars and then possible coronal mass ejections. Not that. That just appears. Look at that. Isn't that wild? I mean, that is truly bizarre. That was on 9/7 of 2017, and it's happened before, but not very often. So the reason I'm sharing that is simply for education purposes. If you happen to see that making the rounds, just know that it's not anything nefarious. It is not a second star or a second sun, even though that'd be kind of cool to see. No, it's a satellite glitch unique to that satellite, the Stereo Ahead spacecraft. Going from the Stereo Ahead to Toledo, Ohio. Cindy. Another ominous looking sky. Storms have been rolling through the central plains up in North Dakota, Texas. Texas dealing with some unbelievable flooding in the Guadalupe River. We talked about that yesterday. I'm going to talk about it again briefly today. Just unbelievable. Here's a weird sunset sent in by Amanda Jager out of South Hart, North Dakota. North Dakota's been seeing rain and tornadoes and hail and wildfire smoke from Canada, and I believe that's what's going on here. She just described this as a weird sunset. She'd never seen one quite like this, and yes, it is quite unique, but I think it's being influenced possibly by thick wildfire smoke dipping down across the border from Canada. Cool stuff. Thank you guys. Appreciate the photos and videos. And great observation handing on the double shadow. YouTube, Paulo out of Australia. Anybody else seen the double shadow? Leave a comment in the chat room. That's where it's at. It's in the chat. Super chats take priority, guys. If you have any questions, click on the super chat and pick a favorite color, red, green, yellow, blue, or orange. Okay, I wanted to talk about the flooding real quick over here in Texas. Unfortunately, this has impacted hundreds of people, not in a good way. 27 people have perished, 25 campers are missing. Massive rescue efforts are still underway. Catastrophic flooding struck central Texas yesterday, causing the Guadalupe River near Kerrville to surge by more than 20 to 26 feet within 90 minutes. That is unbelievable. And guys, there's another situation brewing in the Carolinas. Just know it's coming, okay? Things are being stirred up right now. They really and truly are. Just incredible rain totals, and we've had some record heat here recently, catastrophic flooding. Things are starting to get stirred up in the northern hemisphere, and I'm going to touch on something else. So if you're in the Carolinas, just don't take your eye off the ball just yet. Dozens missing from a camp. The Texas governor held a press conference the other day talking about the flooding. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning for the river along the Guadalupe River between Sattler and Gruene in Comal County, roughly 40 miles north of San Antonio. They advised people to evacuate immediately. This was obviously a couple days ago or a day and a half ago near the Guadalupe River. And they're still trying to assess the situation. The situation's not good. We see flooding usually in the spring, sometimes during the summer. But what's going on? There's a load of moisture, a big slug of moisture coming up. That's why I was thinking there's going to be a big hurricane season, at least a lot of moisture, a lot of rain. And we're already seeing rain not necessarily being delivered via tropical cyclones. But there's been moisture hovering around the equator in Mexico, southern Mexico, Central America, just above the equator for several months in a row. And that moisture is starting to work its way north. And right here's one example of this moisture that's stalled above central Texas. So, and they were having some drought issues in central Texas, and I'm sure from what I'm seeing here that this took care of the drought situation. San Antonio, Texas, National Weather Service out of Austin, widespread storms developed, rain rates at 2 inches per hour. That is rare. You don't see that very often. You'll see that sometimes during a tropical storm, maybe in one of the outer feeder bands, you know. But 2 inches an hour, that's heavy duty rainfall, and it does pile up really, really quick. June 5th at 5:18 a.m. So the rivers, creeks, and streams can't keep up. The rain is coming down, literally buckets and buckets and buckets of rain. So not a good situation. Here's a car that was lifted up by the heavy rains. Here's some video footage from near the Guadalupe River, north of San Antonio, Texas. Here's a house Oh, wow. Look at that. Wow. Looks like a tropical storm went through there, but it wasn't a tropical storm. There's somebody being rescued by a helicopter. Wow. Car being washed away. Rose 20 to 26 feet in 90 minutes. You wouldn't have had much time to prepare. Right there's the location. Let me go back. Yeah, right through here. South Fork, Guadalupe. La Junta, everyone's safe. Camp Majestic, some people were trapped. People missing. It's not a good situation. You can see tree branches and flooding. As far as you can see, the water came up out of the banks. That's obviously what caused the issues. I don't know if a levee possibly broke. I don't know, but big time flooding on the Guadalupe in Texas. Will history repeat itself? Remember last year the flooding in North Carolina? Terrible situation. That was Hurricane Helene brought the rain via a tropical storm. Well, there was obviously a lot of rain. Here's the satellite presentation of the hurricane. Slow mover. Practically stalled. And this was in September. We're seeing an early version of Helene, but it's going to affect more of the interior, the central part of North Carolina. So if you're in North Carolina, just know that you could see a lot of rain. Some of the models are predicting at least a foot of rain in a very short period of time. So be prepared. And I'm going to show you guys exactly where. This is going to be a hurricane update. And this is a big deal if you're in these areas. So pay attention because history could repeat itself. I hope it doesn't, but there's an outside chance that it could. Here we go. All of the models are not in agreement, but this is these are some of the rainfall totals from last year. You're seeing a 3-day total of 12 inches. There could be a 1-day total of 12 inches associated with Tropical Storm Chantal. And Chantal is now the third named tropical storm. Well, third named storm. It's not going to be a hurricane, but it doesn't have to be a hurricane to bring a lot of water. There it is right there. And that's a tropical system off the coast of the Carolinas heading inland right now as I do this video. It's going to be making landfall sometime in the next, I believe, 12 hours. But check this out. This is a big deal. This could materialize. In central North Carolina, north of Durham, north and west of Wake Forest, in the Oxford area, the Chapel Hill area, Sanford area, any area that you see here highlighted in the burgundy, dark burgundy, right there's the total. You can't make this stuff up. Things are being stirred up. And there you go. Possibly a foot of rain in 24 hours. So that would be, what, a half an inch an hour? No. 2 inches. Wouldn't be 2 inches an hour. It'd be a half an inch. That's still a lot of rain in 24 hours, maybe less than 24 hours. But that's coming in right now as I do this video. In fact, here's the satellite presentation of the storm system making its way. It's got a halfway decent satellite presentation. I mean, it's kind of getting organized. What I mean by that, looking like a storm. There's the first storm. See, it's making landfall in the north. Well, it's kind of moved now. North of Myrtle Beach, going right towards the Carolinas. So it's supposed to move inland. This is Chantal. This is the third named storm of 2025 in the Northern Hemisphere. And guys, I think it's going to be a busy year. We'll probably get through all of these names right here. Let me show you the names real quick. So I think it's just going to be one of those years. Here we go. We're already on Chantal right here. And then the next one is Dexter, Aaron, Fernand, Gabriel, Humberto, Imelda. Imelda sounds kind of ominous. Maybe Olga. Ugh, don't like the sound of that. Never know about these names, but we're on the third one. That's Chantal making landfall right now as I do this video. So you guys along the Carolina coast are probably feeling the rain right this moment, and it's going to continue to rain for the next 24 hours, as this is also a slow-moving storm, much like Helene was back just last year when western North Carolina was just flooded, inundated with water. The purples and pinks, those were the areas that were hit the hardest. And they could see a similar scenario, hopefully not, but a similar scenario is brewing. This isn't a big storm like Helene, but it's gaining momentum. It's going to run into the coast here soon, so not going to be any type of a massive storm, but it is nevertheless a wet storm with winds in the 30 to 40 mile an hour range. So it's not going to be a record-setting, windstorm. It shouldn't do a lot of damage. It could bring a lot of moisture. I wanted to give you guys an update on the interstellar visitor that we have from another star system. I don't know if I gave you guys all the specifics from the object that's now inside the orbit of Jupiter. Doesn't look like a comet to me, but the official word right now, it is supposedly a comet that is moving at right around 150,000 miles an hour. I know it's hard to wrap your mind around, but that's the story. 12 miles wide. This is only the third time in recorded history something like this has ever happened, been recorded. I'm sure it's happened before, but this is an object that is traveling through our inner solar system from another star system. That is rare. That is ultra, ultra rare. And I heard that there's something going on with the Schumann that we should be prepared, something to do with Schumann resonance. The Schumann has been a little feisty all week long, but it's not anything to necessarily be, super concerned about. We see this all the time, have for years. But you can see there's been spikes in the Schumann for the last 6 days. And there's been spikes today. We're currently exiting a spike. And right now it's pretty calm. Probably around the 7.8 range right now. But as you can see earlier today, there were spikes well above the 40 hertz range. But everything's copacetic. Some people are very, very sensitive to the Schumann. And it's been very active. Got something I want to show you guys. This is a very unique video. You're only going to see this here because as far as I know, this hasn't been shared anywhere else. I just got this video out of London, Ontario, sent in by Brian Markovich. And this, according to Brian, was a large craft, and he couldn't believe what he was seeing above his neighborhood, or where he lives in rural London, Ontario. Here we go. This is a large craft. You're going to see multiple lights, obviously on something bigger. Here we go. Check this out. This is exclusive video footage. This is a large ship. Let me pause it. This is how he was describing this, as a large craft. Notice the lights. They're all, you can tell they're attached to something bigger. They're not wandering in the wind. In fact, they're very, very stationary. They're moving together in perfect unison with a larger object. Isn't that something? You don't see this very often. That is ultra rare. Those aren't drones. They're not weather balloons. They're not airplanes or helicopters. This is in a slightly different format. That's the original video sent in by Brian. And he was quite taken back by whatever this was. He'd never seen anything like it before. He said it was probably, he had to guess because it was dark, obviously, and it was a fairly decent ways away. The only thing I did do was zoom in. Here's a different format. I was trying to pull forward, any edges or any possible features on this thing, but sometimes it's just not doable. If it's too dark, it's just too dark. And sometimes I do have success pulling things out of the dark. I've removed layers and layers of darkness before, but these things here aren't necessarily meant to be, totally revealed. Yeah, you can see the lights. Obviously, it's very low to the ground, but he said it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 yards. 100 yards wide. Are you serious? 100 yards wide. above London, Ontario. This is one of those wild and mysterious things that I was talking about at the beginning of this live stream. I was going to share with you guys some things that you just won't see anywhere else. And this was sent in by Brian, who spotted this just a few nights ago. There it is. Make that make sense. And if that were man-made, why would we need something so big, you know? I mean, we have big planes that can carry a lot of people, but this is on a whole nother level. What would it be needed for if it were made by humans? What would we need something like that for? Those are the questions that come to my mind, you know? Why do we need something so big? I've seen a large boomerang. I've seen two. The second one I saw was very large, and it was very quiet, and it moved very, very quickly. And the only reason I saw it is because it tilted. It flew over real fast in a V shape. I could see the two sides. I wouldn't have seen it if it hadn't have tilted. When it tilted, it revealed 1, 2, 3, 5 portals. They weren't lights. They were portals, like windows on the craft, on the side, the wings of the, I guess wings. I don't know. It was shaped like a boomerang. It was black. It was at 5:30 in the morning. It was in the fall. It was dark outside. And again, if it hadn't have tilted, I wouldn't have seen those portals. And they were light orange. Very, very, very light orange. I'm assuming I was looking inside the craft and didn't even know it. Saw it for about 2 seconds as it flew over, headed east to west. It was headed towards the Pacific Ocean, California. And again, very quiet, but huge. So once I saw it, and it took a minute for me to process what I'd seen, I was like, okay, why aren't we using these things to transport people around the world? I mean, you could have flown from California to New York in that thing in probably less than 30 minutes. And it probably could have carried a couple of thousand people easily. I mean, it was big. It reminded me of when I used to tell the story, I saw it back in 2017. Like a flying Costco. I mean, it was just so big and so quiet. Didn't make a sound. Didn't make a sound. And again, I wouldn't have known it was there if if it hadn't have tilted. No joke. Wouldn't have known it was there. Okay, we've seen double. Got all kinds of stuff to share with you guys. Hang on, motherships, tropical storms, double shadows. Got more fascinating things to share with you guys. On a day-to-day basis, I get in a wide variety of things, unique photos, unique videos. I never know what's going to show up in the Dropbox. And a lot of times the videos are, you know, inspired by what you guys send in. So here's an example of some things that I've received just in the last couple of days. And some of this stuff is very fascinating. It's things that have been sent in from people all around the world. I'm going to share this stuff with you. We're going to do a poll here in a couple of minutes too. But as far as analyzing this, I want you guys in the chat to help me analyze some of these things that I get. What are we looking at here? And I'm going to be looking in the chat. Darsburg, Tennessee, 420 red. This photo was just sent in of something in the sky. What did they see? These are the things that I get on a day-to-day basis. I never know what's going to come in. And that's not a planet. You can tell it's actually too big. If there was a planet that close to the Earth, the whole Earth would probably be freaking out. Not an airplane, not a helicopter. Darsburg, Tennessee. So these are some of the things that I get. I get so many unique photos and videos. It's incredible. That's why I know the action is happening in the sky. It really is. There is action all the time. Whether it's all man-made, I don't know. Here's a close-up view of that object right there. How do you interpret that? It looks too big to be a drone, right? Certainly not an airplane because it's round. It's not a helicopter because it's round. Not a balloon. Pretty cool stuff. So that's just one of... Throughout the course of a month, thousands. I get thousands of photos and videos combined, thousands. When the email's working, I apologize. The email's been slacking, man. It's not the email, it's the hosting company. You know, unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. The free mail is better than what they offer. It's just weird. The United Kingdom, Will Holden. I believe this is from the night of the 30th, looked up and saw this. He said it looked like an arrow in the sky. What? Now, we're led to believe that this is a fuel dump, side effect of a fuel dump, right? And maybe so, but the fuel dumps that we've seen in the past are usually these very dramatic spirals in the sky. What is this? And then wait till you see the next photo. These are some of the things that people send in. This is just an example. This is an example video segment that I made just for you guys to show you some of the things that are sent in. This is from the United Kingdom. We go from the United Kingdom to Tennessee, to Alaska, to Australia. Paulo's in here from Australia. He's seeing double shadows down there. Just got an email alert, so maybe the email's working again. This was also associated with this. Is that a fuel dump? Looks like weather, smoke ring from a fast-moving jet. Okay. I know that one, Allison, it did look like a Cheerio. You're exactly right. It looked like a Cheerio in the sky. Has to be a portal. Thank you, Deacon. You know, it doesn't look like a fuel dump. It could be any one of these things that you guys are saying in the chat. And thank you for your response. These are some of the things that I analyze on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes they're just real head scratchers. You're just like, wow, what did they see? And typical fuel dump spiral, not this. So I don't know. Maybe it's a portal. Could be something totally unrelated that we don't know anything about. Toledo, Illinois. I thought there was Toledo, Ohio. This photo here was sent in by Cindy. Yeah, Cindy out of Toledo, Illinois. Just super cool. Seeing the color behind the clouds. It's not crown flash. We've seen crown flash, but it's still very, very cool. Corpus Christi Beach, Texas. Jake Clear. Wait till you see the next one. This isn't a jumbo halo, but it's a halo in the sky. Sometimes we'll see these halos, and they are absolutely massive, right? This one's got character. Look at that thing. Almost has well, not almost. It has a white feature to it. And it's very, very colorful. And I didn't do anything to it. That's the original. Now this one here, I'm going to be honest, I did brighten up the color just a little bit. Jazz out of Mulberry, Florida. Some wild looking colors in the sky that aren't associated with a rainbow. Just some unusual clouds, and these are some of the photos that I get on a day-to-day basis. Here we go. LS means live stream, example number 6. That's all that means. Vernon, Arizona. Look at this sky. Sent in by Carrie. What is going on here? You've got green clouds, and these aren't auroras. This is just from a few nights ago. Green, brown. Now the brown could be, because we did have a dust storm. When was it? 3 nights ago? Because we had, I woke up, yeah, it was following, I think it was 3 nights ago. Woke up and looked at the air quality for our area, and the air quality was at 500, which is as high as the measuring graph goes. 500. I thought it was broke. I'm like, okay, this is clearly a glitch. No, it wasn't a glitch. They were advising everybody to stay inside. And the air quality was over 500 probably. It just stopped at 500. It didn't go any higher. Yeah, and it was like that for several hours. And you know, we've had dust storms in the past, but I don't recall the air quality being at 500. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. This is an incredibly photogenic shelf cloud out of North Dallas, Texas, sent in by Poetry Oaks. From just the other day, could have been associated with the storms that brought all the water to the Guadalupe River. I know there's been a lot of storm activity, and that definitely looks like an ominous-looking storm system. LS number 8, live stream number 8. Check this out. This is an eclipse. Jeremy Staples. Just a super cool photo that I just got. He took this photo himself. Obviously, there wasn't a solar eclipse. This is just a photo. Actually, he sent me several photos, and I found them just too cool not to share, man. This is of the moon. He's obviously got a high-powered telescope, quite possibly. Maybe he can see the interstellar traveler that's moving through the solar system right now as I do this video. Super cool. Guys, check this out. I'm glad you stuck around. So if you're one of the 1,600 in here, good for you. This is out of Edmonton, Alberta, and this is a wild one. And when I say things are stirred up, I wasn't kidding. Things are really getting stirred up, especially up here in the northern hemisphere. What in the world is going on here? Patrick, Edmonton, Alberta, shared this with me. This was witnessed by Ed and, let me back it up, Ed and Melinda. Ed and Melinda Party. They had never seen anything like this. Look at that. Is that ball lightning? This is out in the middle of a field. Notice it out there in the middle. And notice there's nothing around here. There's no roads out there. Those aren't headlights on a car or a truck. It's not a helicopter landing. They were stunned at this thing here. A bright blue ball of energy. Look at that. Now, wait a minute. I want to show you something before we get away too far, because it revealed something there, right? Right at the very end. Something was revealed right, I don't know if you guys noticed it, right in here. Okay. Let me pause it right there. All right. Again, not a helicopter, not an airplane. It's way too low to the ground. Too big to be a drone, in my humble opinion, and it's all white. But notice the three features. There's three features on this thing. So that's some sort of a craft that is loaded or was loaded with energy, blue energy, and there it is. Edmonton, Alberta. So we've seen just in today's video, and this is information that I've received just in the last 48 hours, something's going on up in Canada, right? We saw a mothership in London, Ontario, that in Edmonton. What is going on up there? Tina Brown out of Belleville, Illinois. This looks like a side effect from the wildfire smoke dipping, now we're getting email, there we go, dipping all the way down into southern Illinois. That wildfire smoke, when it was at its peak, was traveling literally thousands of miles. LS11. Nelson Jenks shared this with me from the SOHO LASCO C2 and C3. We not only have an interstellar traveler that's arrived from a different star, we have a comet that just dove. In fact, I think there was more than one, but that's the biggest one that we saw. A comet diving towards the sun, right? That's on the close-up field of view. Here's the wide field of view, and you can see the comet right there, diving in. More than likely it dove into the sun, or if it went by, it was vaporized. It takes a pretty big comet to make its way around the sun. There it is, there's a close-up view. Those are small ones, more than likely disturbed out in the Oort cloud, and sometimes it'll send chunks of ice towards the sun. Going to Ohio, Joe P. couldn't help but notice the sign out in front of this church, and if you look at it real close, you could see it's got what looked like dozens and dozens of letters and numbers going absolutely wild, and it wasn't supposed to be doing that. Here's example number 13 out of Springville, Alabama. Tammy Williams, this is a canopy at a gas station. We've seen this multiple times, and we saw it in a commercial too. They had lights flashing underneath the canopy of a gas station. Isn't that wild? Just a few, rogue and random, not all, just a few. 14, here's another example, J.C. Hansen. Not sure of the location, but got some lights over here that appear to be malfunctioning as well. And then all down the road, on the left-hand side, multiple poles that were just kind of freaking out, and he'd never seen that before. And nobody seems to know the reason why. Waterford, Maine. I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. Polenta said she's seen this above California. Grace saw this above Maine just the other day. This is in 4K format. This is rare. I don't usually get a lot of videos that I'm able to put in 4K, But this one I did convert to 4K, and it turned out pretty good. It wasn't a weather balloon, wasn't a party balloon, wasn't a drone, wasn't an airplane, wasn't a helicopter. Something hanging out above Maine. I don't know if this drifted over from the interior of Canada and it was associated with the mothership and what was just seen out in Edmonton. But there's been some activity above the 50-degree north latitude here recently. And this is right at the 50, I believe. Don't know what that was. Neither did she. She'd never seen anything like it before. That was in broad daylight, not a cloud anywhere, just kind of hanging around. And it makes you wonder what these things are doing. You know, you can kind of understand what a weather balloon does. It's up there collecting data. We get that. In fact, if you go to flight radar, which we real quick, I'll show you. There are right here, especially up here along the Pacific Northwest right now. Those are balloons, and they're up there collecting data. They're even on flight radar. Flight radar is really good. It shows weather balloons. It'll show drones, and then obviously airplanes. That's what it's known for. Here's another balloon here over the interior. So we've got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 3 for sure. But they're up there collecting data. No big deal. And you know what? Every once in a while, in fact, it just happened here within the last couple of weeks, there was a balloon above, or at least it was visible, from Mobile, Alabama. And I saw it over here on flight radar. In fact, this might be the same balloon. It's just, let me see, I'll click on it and see where it came from. No, that's been wandering around the interior. And you can see the path of the balloon. The red line is the path the balloon has taken since it's been up in the air. And it's at 58,000 feet. We can see the path of these two real quick. Started out over here in eastern Washington, kind of meandering over to north of Seattle. This one here, now sometimes that's why I looked at it, because sometimes they'll travel a long way. This one traveled from, northern Arizona, all the way up to the west coast of Washington. So that's why I looked, because somebody sent me a picture from Mobile, Alabama of a balloon that I saw also on flight radar. So they confirmed it from the ground, and you can still see the private jets. Look at them. They're everywhere. Remember one time we counted 400 on here, and it was this section right here. The Gulf and this part of the United States, there were 400 at one time, and they're still all over the place. The small airplanes, like right there, private jets galore. So it makes you wonder, you know, what's up? I mean, it seems like maybe private jet travel is more economical than a large commercial plane. I find that hard to believe, don't you? But that's kind of what it's showing us. It's showing us that there's a lot of private jet travel here, especially the last couple of months. Actually, the last 6 months, you want to know the truth. Hold on, guys. Oh, I was going to do a poll question. Now, here's the thing about the poll. Which one am I going to do? Here we go. Yeah, because there's something going on right now. The polls, what we're going to do, we're just going to kind of take our best guess, right? Is the Earth changing or being changed? And you can choose A, B, or C. Natural cycles being A, B being weather control, C, unknown forces, and I'm going to add one more in here. We're going to add D, which is not on here, and I meant to put it on here, and honestly, I just forgot. I was getting all this other information together. D is the fluctuations in the magnetic shields. So once again, A, natural cycles, something that's always gone on since the Earth has been, you know, a luminary. B, weather control, unknown forces. D, magnetic shields. A, I'm seeing B, B, A. Cool, thanks for participating, guys. AZ Watchwoman, member of the Star family. So it looks like B is dominating. Weather control, okay. Lots of B's. There's C, unknown forces. I can tell you right now, okay, A and B. There's C, B and D by Mia. Well, B is dominating. D, there's a D, okay. Magnetic field, magnetic field, magnetic field, okay. C, C, D, D, A, D, D, B, B and D, B, D, B, B and D. Very cool. A and C, B and C. Okay, A, natural cycles, okay. Cool. So it still looks like B has the lead, which is weather control. A, B, and C by Sama. B and D by Ultra Rocks. B and C by Aiden. B by Rev Bev. K, B. Music B. Kristen B. A and B. So a lot of B's. G-Man A. A, B, C. And you know, it couldn't be a combination of all. Okay. Just kind of letting this run for about a minute. I'm just curious. Very cool. Thank you, guys. It looks like, if I had to take a guess, and that's all we can do right now because the poll feature down here on the chat doesn't give you an option to type in, you know, like natural cycles, weather control, or unknown forces. All of the above by Billy. Oh, thank you, moderator. I always forget. Super chats are welcome, guys. Red, green, yellow, orange, blue. Just go down to the bottom and just pick one. It's okay. You can pick as many as you like. Oh yeah. Thanks for the poll questions or the poll answers. It looks like to me, if I had to guess, and that's what I'm doing here, B dominated. Oh, there's a super chat. Thank you, Love RKN. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure, and thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot. Keep them coming, guys. What else did we have? I had another poll. Now this one here, I don't know if we'll get to that or not. We might. Oh, here's something that I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you very much, Love Art. Have you guys seen this? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. And this is just something I just wanted to touch base on because this affects all of us. This is just wild. Have you guys ever seen a $29 ham and cheese sandwich? Seriously? I mean, this is where we're at in today's world. Really? And it's pre-made. It's not even made. Thank you, Steve. Natural Cycles. It's going right over us. B is observed weekly, yeah? You guys ever see a $29, just a little ham and cheese sandwich? Yeah, 29 bucks right there. Look at it. I'm just curious because I know prices just across, right there it is. $29. Go in a little closer. There you go. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Mia. Go, Mia, go. Keep them coming, guys. Look at that, $29 ham and cheese sandwich, really? And it's already pre-made. Yeah, New York, Miami, is that way? Okay, yeah, yes way, that's real. And there's one next to it, check it out. I don't know what that is, I can't tell. I don't know. Right, well, there's one next to it, as you can see, 24, right? Is that egg salad? I mean, really, a $24 egg salad? Holy cow. But this one here, it was just totally shocking. But here's the thing, guys. You guys know, and I know, you're smart. You know what time it is. There's no such thing as a $29 ham and cheese sandwich. There really isn't. Unless we make it one. Because if we're willing to pay $29 for a ham and cheese sandwich that doesn't look very big, that's pre-wrapped, then it becomes one, right? So just, I mean, you do what you want. I'm not telling you what to do. Melody's Coloring Cafe. Thank you, Melody, for the super chat. Keep them coming, guys. Yeah, $29 ham and cheese sandwich. Melody, that is unbelievable. But this was in New York. I found that the other day, and I was so surprised, but yet not surprised. You know what I mean? Because you guys are seeing it too. You guys are going to the grocery stores because you need resources, just like me and my family and all of us. We have to have food. We have to have water. You know. But this, how are you supposed to do that? Now, to me, the way I view that, I think there would be a lot of this stuff thrown away because most people, regardless of your financial situation, I don't think you're going to be compelled to pay $29. I wouldn't. Even if I were super wealthy, I would not do it. There's just no such thing in my world. But if we pay it, if we do, then all of a sudden it becomes one. And then there's no incentive to lower the price. So if they started throwing sandwiches away every single day at 29 bucks, well, then you're going to see the prices go down. Well, they're like, well, maybe we better lower the prices to 25, which is still through the roof. But as long as people are paying it, there's no incentive to ever lower the price. So, yeah, I was just like, what? Not even fresh made. You know, you can get a big old sub sandwich. Those are getting expensive too. The big subs, which we all like, you know, they're getting to the point where we're there too. Just about unaffordable. It's like, you know what? Just keep it. Just keep it. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. Okay, but enough of that. Let's talk about more positive things. Speaking of positive, let's do one more poll I got here for you. I know this is okay. That's Earth being changed by, people are saying weather control. Some are saying natural cycles. It was pretty close. It was a tie between A and B. And I've been talking about this for 6 months, and I'm going to ask you guys because the chat knows, right? And keep the super chats coming, guys. Like the super chats. What's causing, because you know I've reported on this for a while now. What's causing the flickering lights? What do you think? A, solar storms. B, grid sabotage of some sort. And that is a possibility, just so you know. That's always a possibility at any given time. C, unknown forces. And then let's just add one. There's AM says B, grid sabotage. A, solar storms, a lot of A, B, and C. Thanks for the super chat there, Graham. What if the sun has increased in size by just 1%? Good question. We don't know what the sun's capable of doing, but I'm certain we could measure its size with a pretty good degree of accuracy. Good question, Graham. Thanks for the super chat. Okay, we're getting a wide variety of here. A, B, and C. C, C, C. Look at all of them coming through. A, B, C. A lot of C's. Unknown forces. I'm on board with the C's, just so you know. I'm C. A lot of C's, a lot of A's. Solar storms. But you know what? Solar storms is a very practical answer. Yes, could be. I'm not seeing a whole lot of B's, and I agree with that. But you know what? It's something that's a remote possibility. I think most of our grid facilities are, you know, monitored pretty closely. BAC. Cool. I like to see how you guys think. You guys are smart people. I want to know how you think. You really are. Thanks for the responses. C, C, B, A, B. Cool. There's Graham. Thank you, Graham. I just asked. Oh, because gas is expandable. And you know what, Graham, it depends on the ratios of the gases up there. It's going to determine the size. You know, and the ratios are constantly changing, the hydrogen and helium ratios, because the sun is constantly losing mass. It loses mass every day. Hey, Alan, thanks for the super chat. Why do comets get pulled in by the sun, but not stereo satellites? Good question. I think stereo satellites are influenced by the Earth's orbit. would be my, my thoughts on that, because they orbit the sun with the Earth. So they're influenced by the Earth's gravitational force. So the Earth kind of keeps them in its lane. Like the moon doesn't get pulled into the sun because of the Earth's gravity. It kind of hangs around. I think it's the same principle. But like the sun diving comets, what causes them to dive back towards the sun? C is unknown force. A lot of C's are still coming. Frequencies for weather modification. This is wild, yeah. Guys, I got to be with you. I'm with the C's. Pole shift and A. Kimberly. Thank you, Kimberly. What is magnesium? Magnesium's a strip on the lights that when the lights turn purple, the magnesium strip is supposedly, gone south or whatever. A and C is kind of looking at a few curious. UV is 10 here in Dillon, Montana today. Yes, that is normal, Dory. It sure is. Because I have a friend north of you up in Abbotsford, British Columbia, that sends me readings of 11, 12, 13, even 14 up in southern British Columbia, just north of you. So 10 in your location for this time of year, believe it or not, that's normal. At peak, at noon. Yes, that is normal. Now, if it gets up into the 12, 13 range, that's not normal for Montana. No, it's not. Thank you for the super chats, guys. So it looks like, if I had to guess, and that's strictly what I'm doing here because we have no way to officially tally it, but that's okay. You can kind of get a general consensus of what people are thinking. There's several. I'm seeing several solar storm options, which was option A. And then C. I got a lot of C's. And then there's a few B's that have came through. I'm with unknown forces at this point, guys, because I've seen so many examples of these things in the last, good Lord, going on 8 months that... oh, thank you, Carolyn Gracia, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Beautiful blue. Keep them coming, guys. Who's got the red super chat today? Here's a red banner right here. See this red banner? Let's see a red banner in the super chat. Like, if you guys have any cool videos or photos you want to share, you can send those to either reports at mrmbb333.com, which is working, at least for the time being. I don't have a whole lot of faith in my hosting company that hosts this website you see right here. I've had them for years, but for some reason they went and changed the email, Graham. I don't know why they did that. The email they had was perfectly fine, used it for years. The atmosphere is loaded with solar particles. D, yes, totally agree. We are bombarded with plasma 24/7. That's all part of the atmosphere. If you guys have any videos you'd like to share, you can go over here to the Dropbox and I'll show you how it works real quick. Click on this banner, this red banner that says, have a large video. Here we go. Opens up. You can drag and drop your videos into the Dropbox. Just somewhere at the top of your video where there's that unique number, just blue that out and put your name, location, and the date. And then drop it in here and send it on its way. That's the first thing I check every morning is the Dropbox. So I definitely get those. Sometimes the email can get a little overrun with spam and things like that. So to be honest, the best option is the Dropbox, especially for large videos. Absolutely. What else we got here, guys? The double shadow, which was super weird. Oh, yeah, okay. Flash date. I showed you the mothership. Oh, yeah, I was going to check in on the pit stops. There's the Schumann. Here's the sun. The sun has been very quiet the last, good grief, 72 hours. Been very quiet. We did see a CME come off the sun here within the last 36 hours, but I don't think it has an Earth-directed component. But as far as any big... Oh, there's a super chat. As far as any big solar flares, Earth-directed, no. There have been no big ones in the last 8, 9, going on 10 days now, at least with regard to X flares. Back to the poll, I wanted to say real quick, it looks like unknown forces, it was a pretty close draw between A and B, or A and C. I think unknown forces pulled it through. Drift of the North Pole to the west, possible indicators of magnetic pole shift interfering with power grids around the planet. Very, very true, Daniel. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, very plausible. Absolutely. You're a smart guy. That is very plausible. And very possible. And that'd be something that we can't see that's interfering with these currents that influence these bulbs, because it's solar bulbs, bulbs on cars and trucks. We saw a whole parking lot, 3 parking lots of Tesla vehicles, all the lights flashing on the Tesla vehicles for unknown reasons. So it's not just grid issues. Here's 7 days of the GOES X-ray flux, and you can see quiet. Quiet, super quiet, last 7 days. There's the Schumann once again. I've got the Schumann up twice, my bad. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera. Once again, that northern tier acting is just out of pocket. That seismograph is telling us the ground is moving. Is it moving as much today as it was yesterday or the day before? It looks like it's slowed down a little bit. So that tells me that this more than likely is not equipment malfunction. The ground, more than likely, along the northern edge of the caldera, right up here at the Yellowstone supervolcano, in this area specifically, maybe there's some sort of a new geyser forming there, because that wouldn't be too far out of the realm of possibility, right? There's geysers up there that you can set your clock by. Old Faithful, you know? So this one, this area here, maybe there's another geyser forming. Maybe there's magma intrusion kind of moving around. It's a supervolcano. It's big. It's going to have some kind of movement, right? But this, based off of just years and years of just coming over here every day. This is one of my pit stops. I've been coming over here for I don't know how long. I've never seen a seismograph act like this over here. So just from experience, that's all. I can tell you this is very unusual. It's very unusual. So there's something unique going on along that northern edge of the supervolcano caldera. And this seismograph, let's go back. I want to show you guys something. When I first saw it, I'm like, wow, that is a mess. I'm going to go back a month. And here's the same volcano, or same volcano. We're at the same volcano, but here's the same seismograph a month ago. Here it is today. And if we put them, there you go. There's no comparison, right? Side by side. There is no comparison. So it did go from, actually it went from good to just completely wild. What's going on up there? That remains to be seen. Well, we could be hearing of a possible new geyser or something forming up there. Don't know, but the sun has been ultra quiet. In fact, we can look at the Earth-facing side of the sun. The last time I looked, there were hardly any sunspots to even talk about. Look at this. Are you serious right now? We're in solar maximum? That's the Earth-facing side of the sun. Wow. There is no way and we're in solar maximum right now. You wouldn't know it by looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun. There's 2 visible? Maybe, okay, there's 4 visible, but they're almost to the point where they're so small they're not going to do anything. There's one way down here in the southern hemisphere, so if that one were to do anything, it wouldn't even be Earth directed. It would be going, that's in the direction of the Stereo Ahead spacecraft. That more than likely is influenced by Earth's gravity. That's why it doesn't get pulled into the sun. And the solar wind is always pushing, you know, away from the Earth, not towards Earth. And this one here is very tiny as well. I mean, it's growing, but it's very, very small. Even if it were to produce a flare, it couldn't produce anything bigger than maybe a small M flare, simply because it doesn't have the proper magnetic components. You got to have beta, gamma, delta, and that's nowhere near beta, gamma, delta. Absolutely not. So shouldn't be any solar activity in the next, good Lord, from the looks of that sun, the next week. There's nothing even over here on the western limb. There's no signs of anything big coming. In fact, we can look to see what's coming. You can look right here. There's nothing even coming. So right now, the sun's very quiet. This tells you right here if there's any solar flares coming right here. Nothing happening. Quiet. So, that being said, is this the calm before the storm? The sun's quiet. The earth is stirred up. We're starting to see hurricanes and tropical storms in the northern hemisphere. Could see some flooding in North Carolina, even though this thing is going to make landfall more in the South Carolina-ish range. They're saying officially near Myrtle Beach, but I think it's going to be north of Myrtle Beach. It's kind of wandering to the north up into North Carolina. So they could see some heavy rains tonight during the overnight hours. So you guys in North Carolina, coastal North Carolina, especially central North Carolina, some models are suggesting, this is ventusky.com, 12.14 inches by tomorrow morning. That's a lot of rain just in a short period of time. So be prepared. We don't want another incident like what's going on in Texas. We don't like to see that. That's terrible. But unfortunately, it happens sometimes. You know, when the weather gets out of balance, the earth gets out of balance, things are stirred up. Rivers overflow their banks sometimes. We'll see big hurricanes form, and it's just on and on and on. Earth is a very, very busy, active place. There's volcanoes erupting. We could see more erupting here in the near future. Anytime that volcanoes can erupt anytime, but during solar maximum, solar flaring activity, CMEs specifically, influence volcanic activity, sometimes earthquake activity. There's a John Sprott. Thank you for the dancing pair, John, in the super chat. Hey, Team Alaska, Star family member. Thank you, John. Appreciate the super chat. Really cool. Keep them coming, guys. Yeah, the earth is stirred up. There's no doubt about it. The earth is very stirred up right now. And it's going to stay that way all summer long because we're in between solar, or not solar, we're in solar maximum, but we're in between La Nina and El Nino. That's why there's so much moisture down in the Gulf of Mexico, not Gulf of Mexico, it's southern Mexico, Central America, and just above the equator. There's just been a whole slug of moisture there just brewing for the last three and a half months. And now it's starting to migrate to the north. In fact, John Sprott, keep it. Thank you for the dancing pears. Those are so cool. Keep them coming, guys. We had a monsoon a couple of nights ago. We got heavy rain. Rained very, very heavy for about an hour. And then it rained steady for the next 2.5, 3 hours. Oh, that was so welcome, you know. Made me want to go out and do a rain dance because it never rains out here. We need rain, you know what I mean? I grew up in the rain. I grew up in the snow. I've always lived in a climate where it rains and snows. Or it rains, at least. It doesn't rain much out here. Obviously, I'm in the desert. It's not supposed to. Thanks again for the super chat, John. Appreciate that. Keep them coming, guys. Yeah, it rained good, but that's that moisture being pushed up from the equator around the 20, 25 degree, 23 degree, 22 degree north latitude, even a little bit below in the 19, 18 range. There's been moisture there all year long since January. It's been kind of hanging around, perpetuating day after day after day after day, and we're seeing signs of tropical storm activity over there. They're not making landfall, but we've seen 3 named storms over there now. Here's another one that's brewing. We've seen 3 over here in this area, and this is where that moisture's been hanging out. Right in here. Right in this area here. In fact, I'll put a... let's go oval. Show you where it's at. Yeah, right there. This area has just been loaded with moisture, and it's being pushed to the north. It's being pushed to the north. It's probably why the system formed over here off the coast of the Carolina, South and North Carolina. There's a slug of moisture that's been sitting there, and it's on the move. Things are stirred up. That moisture stirred up. It's going to stir up storms in the Caribbean. It's going to stir up storms in the Gulf. We're going to see an increase, a rapid increase in tropical storms and hurricanes here in the next 4 weeks. Count them, 4 weeks. It's going to start getting busy in July, end of July, first part of August. Yes, indeed. August could be a record month. We're going to go through all those names that I just showed you. Yes, we're going to go through them. And I'm going to keep you guys updated. If you're in these areas that are hurricane prone, I got you. I made that commitment earlier a month ago, and I will keep you guys updated. So if you're in these areas, you don't have to subscribe to this YouTube channel, but check in if there's a hurricane. I'll be on it, especially if you're along the coast of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle, Western Florida, Southern Florida, Eastern Florida, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Hey, Hillary, thank you for the super chat. And Virginia, I got you guys, okay? And I won't let you down. I got you back. There's hurricanes coming like today. It's a tropical storm, and you could see an abundance of moisture in North Carolina tonight during the overnight hours, more so in North Carolina than South Carolina. So I got you guys, and I'm watching this like a hawk. So if you're in any of those areas, even the Bahamas, Caribbean, thank you, Valentina. I'm sorry, Hillary. Let's check it out real quick. Love the super chats. You guys are cool. Just heard Mark Zuckerberg is building a compound near our tiny town in northern Maine. Wonder if he knows something. Most will be affected if Yellowstone does erupt, and would it give us notice? Yes, Hillary, it would give us a little bit of notice. Great question, and thank you for the super chat. That's why we check the seismographs every single day. That's a great question, Hillary, because, and I have it right here on the homepage of the website. If you come over here to the homepage of the website, this is it, MrMBB333.com. And right down here on the lower left, right there, that tab that says Yellowstone. If you click on that tab, it's got the Yellowstone seismographs up 24/7. You can come here anytime, day or night, and check the seismograph activity. And that's the reason why we come here and check the activity every single day, is because Yellowstone's a really big deal. These will tell us, hey, there's activity at the supervolcano caldera. It could be getting ready to erupt. I don't think it's just going to erupt super spontaneously like in an hour without any type of warning. You know what I mean? There's going to be something on these seismographs, more than likely all of the seismographs. So this activity up here along the northern edge is a big deal. Oh, yes, it is. It's a big deal. That is highly unusual. But here's the thing. If we see this type of activity on all of the seismographs, you know an eruption's coming. That's why we do what we do. That's why we come here every day. We don't want to see that, but there's that chance that they could look like that. That's why they're here. These scientists have put these seismographs in these very locations for a very specific reason, because they know that this is subject to erupting at any time. It's actually overdue. So I go there all the time. I have for years, I admit it. I'm guilty. I go here all the time. I check this website out. It's one of my favorites. I don't stay here long enough to see what I need to see. And then I'm off and running. But this is one of my pit stops. I'm here multiple times a week. And especially since this has been acting a little bit wonky up here along the northern edge, I'm here every single day. And I see what I need to see. I'm looking for movement. We're looking for a story. These seismographs, like the flickering lights and various things, they tell a story. And I don't want to miss it. So when the story's being told, I want to be the first one reading it. So I can tell you guys, you know, up in Maine, Maine's a pretty safe place. But the fallout from a full-fledged Yellowstone eruption could, depending on the activity of the jet stream at that given time, it could affect Maine. Absolutely. But Maine's a pretty good spot. And why Zuckerberg chose Maine, you know, that's open to interpretation. I mean, you can speculate. But Maine's a pretty safe place. Absolutely. A lot of resources, you know, up in Maine. If you needed resources and needed to live off grid for a while, Maine's the place to be, right? Fresh water, got all kinds of resources, wildlife, trees. Maine's cool. Maine's a beautiful state. I see that email's working again. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, that's why we come here, Hillary, because these seismographs will give us a heads up. They sure will. They'll give us a heads up. And once, you know, if you know, Yellowstone were to get too active, at some point these seismographs probably would no longer be online. So if they were to all malfunction at the same time, that's big news. Then you probably wouldn't need these to know that, hey, Yellowstone's erupting. So yeah, right there's our storyteller. Everything has a story to tell. That's why I'm trying to still understand the story behind the flashing lights. They're, in my humble opinion, telling us a story of an unknown force because it's affecting lights off the grid and on the grid. So that's a big deal. That's just straight up weird. And I've been collecting email, videos, photos for years. I've been analyzing them for years, guys. I've never had that happen. No, not one. Not before November of 2024. None of the viewers anywhere around the world have ever sent me a video. It felt compelled that this is weird. Okay, there's 6 in a row here flashing. Why? You know, never until November of 2024. And it's been nonstop ever since. I shared a couple examples that I just got today. I didn't share them all. I have another entire video right here. We're over 1,800 now. Headed to 1,900. And I'm just one person that's collecting data around these flashing lights. I'm just one person. I'm approaching 1,900 now. They're coming in fast and furious. People are noticing this all around the world. Like the seismographs, they have a story to tell. We're going to figure it out. Okay, that's our goal. That's why we're staying on it. We're trying to learn. We're trying to figure it out. So I apologize if I, you know, show them a lot, and I know I do, but I don't show them every day. And I could. I get that many videos. I could show them every single day, but I don't. So I try to keep it, you know, keep the content mixed up, you know, because you guys send me a variety of different things. And again, the topics are generated in a lot of cases by you guys. Thank you for the super chat, Hillary, once again. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Thank you for your comments and your poll participation. Kind of, you know, you want to know something, ask the chat. That's where it's at. There's a collection of bright minds in there, and the chat always gets it right. So yeah, I think with regard to the flickering lights, I think it's an unknown force. I've thought that after about the first month. I got to be honest, the first month of getting these things, I was skeptical too. I'm like, okay, you know, are there grid issues in these areas? Have they been hit by storms? You know, I'm trying to rationalize this like I do every video I get. You know, I always take the rational side first. Sometimes we can figure these things out. Sometimes you just can't. And I've learned over the years that truth is indeed stranger than fiction. And there's something up with these flashing lights. It's like the $29 ham and cheese sandwich. You have got to be kidding me. There is no such thing. Holy cow. Well, there is, I guess, if we pay it. So the only way those prices are going to come down, just in general, we're just going to have to, we make it a $29 sandwich. If we pay for it, pay it. Just be patient, guys, and be cool. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off here. It's been a great live stream. I appreciate all you guys stopping by. We'll do it again mañana. Thanks for stopping by. Have a super day, and be safe out there, guys.